Hello everyone, my name is Ntabiseng and I am a spiritual medium. Thank you for once again joining me on my channel, and today we are going to be talking about cleansing. Ho ikolomaka. What exactly is cleansing and how does it work? When do you need cleansing? Why do you need cleansing? And what can you use for cleansing? So, have you ever went to a healer and you were told that, oh, nalili fifi, that you are walking around with a dark cloud? A dark cloud would mean a lot of things. So it's a term that healers just use to explain an array of things, and that is why it is important for you to get actually into the consultation and understand what exactly caused this dark cloud, where is it coming from, and what are the effects of that dark cloud in your life. So people would say onalisififi, people would say onaliscito, people would say onalisenyama, all of those things. What they translate into, it means that there's a negative aura, right? A negative energy around you. What that means is that if my background, right, if my background is somehow supposed to be supporting the kind of energy that you are able to interact with, it's supposed to be enhancing me. It's supposed to be enhancing the interaction that you have with me as you are talking to me, befriending me, dating me, wifing me up, working with me, whatever interaction that you need to be having with me. So now this, what I come with, the aura that I come with, would then affect the quality of interactions that we are likely to be having. So there are certain people that would come and they have work issues, and they're thinking, my boss does not like me, my colleagues are gossiping about me, and I never get a promotion, I never get a raise, I never. And you find that the problem is not with people that are receiving you. The problem is the energy that you are handing it out to people, and when they look at it, they misrepresent, they misinterpret the energy that you are presenting you yourself, even without being aware. So you would find a person saying, everywhere I go there's conflict, people, I'm just in the center of conflict and I do not know why. So it's about the energy that you are emitting and how we interpret it and how it unsettles us, and then we react to the energy that we are getting from you, right? So this obviously are things that, one, you could be aware of and just say, I'm like this and people just don't like me, and you've made peace with it. Two, it could be something that happens even without your own knowledge, because it is not quite often that you would understand the kind of aura you are giving to a person. Sometimes a highly spiritually inclined to a spiritual person can sense your aura, you know. People would go to a party with Ntabi. Ntabi's my friend, and I'm taking Ntabi to a party. Yay, we're gonna be so happy at the party. Ntabi, get out, you don't have friends. And then somebody introduces me to their friend, right, or to their circle of friends. Hello friends, this is Ntabi. And before I can even say anything, people are already looking at me on some we don't like this woman, there's something about her, something just doesn't add up, because people do not know. People do not, because people are afraid of what they don't know. Ne? People are skeptical of what they don't know. So they're not going to be looking at you and saying, could she be having an aura problem? Can we help her? They're just going to look at you as like, something very funny about this woman. We don't like her and we will not engage with her. So these are the kind of things that will happen to you. There are certain people whose aura is sort of deposited unto them, right? You'd find that your aura incites violence in other people. Even the most of calmest person would see you and want to fight you, because there is some sort of an energy that perhaps is sent out there for you, that you get hurt, that people kill you, that you die by somebody else's hand, and throughout that aura will then play itself out and try to increase it, the level of intensity. So we meet you and suddenly some people just want to smack you around. There are people who just go to a normal pub and come back and they're all bruised up. Why? At the most calmest of pubs, when are you ahead? Why? Because you find that your aura is then translating into, hey, please harm me, harm me, harm me, impose some harm on me. I need to get hurt. There are people like that. Then there are many things that can happen to you that will affect the quality of interactions with people. Obviously, this will affect the quality of with relationships with other people. Then you find people who have been influenced or who have heard this thing for quite a long while, and they just decide to not engage with people. They will just be on their own, be reclusive, not have friends, not even go out for family gatherings, because I'm gonna get hurt. People are gonna hate me. People are going to. So why should I introduce myself to another set of people if I know what is likely to be happening, right? So that is one of the things why a person would require cleansing. Now, there are many things that would contribute to that. First of all, is if you have yourself suffered loss, either it's a loss of a child or loss of a parent, right? Loss of a child in a way that there has been an abortion, there has been a miscarriage, whether you are male or you're female, the same effects would happen to you. Sometimes if you have lost your own parent, mommy and daddy died, and you have not gotten cleansed, right? So what then happens is that, remember, when you are a child and you're born, you are 50% your mom and you're 50% your dad. So when that 50% gets to be abruptly taken out of your life, if your mom dies or your father dies, they abruptly take out the 50%. So now there's a hollowness, there's a vacuum. There's a vacuum inside of you that yearns for the parent. Whether you have been raised up by this parent or not, but certain things in you will then tell us, a spiritualist, to say there, there's an element of you that got out. And so what cleansing would do is that it would wash you and put you back, right? Put your energy back together. So when you have not been cleansed as a result of such things, where you have suffered loss when yourself, this kind of things will affect you. Sometimes you find that there was a burial, a funeral in the house that you live in, whether a grandmother died, and then the house was not cleansed, right? So all the people that live in this house automatically need to get cleansed. Automatically they walk around with a dark cloud, because when you walk around, a spiritualist or many people would look at you as if like you are still covered, as if like you are still in mourning. So now the darkness of that person's spirit hovers with you, goes around with you everywhere else. And so when you are in darkness, there is not much breakthrough that you can ever summon in your life. There is not much breakthrough that you can influence in your life. And that is why you would find people saying, I'm praying, but God is not answering my prayers. Because now you are praying in the dark. There is no some sort of a light that connects your prayers to a certain favorable outcome. Waibon. That is why after a long time ago, when healers and people did things correctly, you would find that after a person has died in the family, then there's a whole process of fortifying the house. Ho beha motse, ho tiisa motse. So along with that, ho tiisa motse, to fortify the house, it was not just for the benefit of the house, it was for the benefit of the people that had dwelleth in the house, the people that live in the house. Ne? So remember Kale, they would steam us and give us things to bath, and they would pat us, cut us here and there, so that the blood comes out, the energy that we so have locked inside, the energy that is saying we are in mourning and everything is bad. Then we let that particular blood have an outlet, so that there is a renewal of the system. So this is your own internal cleansing, where we directly cleanse your DNA, because now your blood needs to come out for the purpose that the healer will be talking about. That is why it's important for a healer to speak and tell us what they are doing to us as they are administering this sort of healing. Right? Then there is another healing that's necessary when you break up with a person or you go through a divorce. Because when we are in a love relationship, there are so many commitments that we make to each other. There are so many things that we invite. There are many spirits. You promise to love me and drive me into the sunset. And as you are saying all of these things, my ancestors are listening, going, hey, okay. They're already registering you as their in-law, and nami ba busy mo labang register as makoti, and one day I'm going to emerge in your homestead. And then we break up and those things do not work. But we've made a soul tie because there was a sexual interaction, whether by protection or not. Those things do not work. It's about a spiritual thing that we do. It's a spiritual thing that we do. So some people would say, no, Coco, why do I need to get cleansed? Why do I need to break a soul tie if we were using protection? It's not about protection. Your soul already has begged for this person to experience itself with this person. Before you and I could even meet as lovers, our soul have already, sent out a vibration that says, I want Martha, I want Mike, I want Martha, I want Mike, I want Martha, I want Mike. So by the time you are then having protection here, it does not work, Your soul has already ordered from the menu, ordered Martha, ordered Michael. So then you can't say, hey, this little plastic can save me from all this soul business. Can't, right? It's not logical. However, the point was, when you have broken up with a person, when you have finished with that relationship, you need to cleanse. Go to the river, do the steaming. Some of you would have an enema administered. Yes, have an enema administered. So some of you would have that as a form of cleansing. Either you have that or you purge. Palazisa. So many things would then happen, just so that your internal and your external speaks to a very khakazing, bright, shining aura. Wabon. So those are the things that are needed. That is why it is not advisable that you jump from one relationship to the other. That is also why casual sexual interaction, it is not advisable, because you will not know at some point, not know whose aura are you then hovering, walking around, whose aura is now exercising itself in your life. That is why they would tell you, nkile wa nna le motho, yay, motho wa tla bofa dilo tsa hao. And you're thinking other people have bewitched you, but it's their aura, it's their negative energy that they have been pulling along, and then they give it to you. And because you can't be able to trace it, okay, the first 3 months, what happened? Yours, we trace it by 2 days. Very dangerous and very laborsome. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I pass no judgment. So that is why after every relationship that you have been in, you need to cleanse, right? So we have done cleansing of when you have suffered a loss, an intimate loss, a child, or a mother, when you have lost somebody in the house, and then the whole yard and everybody that lives in that house needs to get cleansed. When you have went through a separation, a breakup, or a divorce, then you need to get cleansed, sort of to detach yourself from the commitments and from the spirit and from the sweat and from everything that the other person and you were sharing in your comfort zone of love. And when that union is no longer there, we need to really cut it off. Otherwise, the remnants of it follows you into the next relationship. And then you would find that you are having pattern relationships. You know, you are loving and beautiful, and after 3 months something happens, a little in a fight, it happens. Or sometimes you get from one abusive relationship into another, because in your spirit you have not cut out the previous person. So what you are having is just that you are having the same energy with different heads. You are having Martha's head, Ntabi's head, Johanna's head, but you are having the very same experience of relationships, right? So you need to detach yourself from such happenings by means of getting cleansed. And sometimes you cleanse a house that you just bought. You get into a new house and you find that there were people that were living in it. You need to cleanse off their energy. There are people that are being killed by other people's things. Or like it lots about, when a person comes to a consultation and you find that there's a problem in the yard, and they say, but it's a new house. Yes, it's a new house with old energy. So you find yourself in such cases where you need to cleanse off other people's energies so that now the house can speak to you. The house can recognize you and say, oh, so Ntabi is my owner. I need to work around Ntabi's energy. When Ntabi's praying to God, when Ntabi's talking to her ancestors, I need to sort of work together with the energy of the house. So you are setting some sort of a spiritual atmosphere, a spiritual room for a spiritual room. Somebody's calling me. A spiritual room, a beautiful, clean room for such interactions, right? So that's why you also need to cleanse and fortify a new house after you've bought it, especially if it was a pre-owned house. The very same thing will happen to pre-owned cars. You are buying a car from a previous owner, or even if it's a demo car from the garage, it already has somebody's settings, spiritual settings. So you need to first cleanse it. That's why after you bought a car, you would then take it to Ndade Chauke there, and Ndade Chauke would do the things so that you and the car are one. So they set at your spiritual tone for protection, for everything else, so that this car responds to your energy favorably. Right. So there are so, with regards to cleansing is a very, very important thing, because when you are cleansed, you cannot summon breakthrough. Your finances would go down, your relationships would be in a state. Sometimes you would even have bodily pains, your head, your spine, all of these things, all of these elements of your body will talk to you and to let you know, there's a problem with your money. There's a problem with your associations. There's a problem with your body is always talking to you. But it requires a certain knowledge to understand when the head is doing this thing, what is it saying spiritually. But then all of this, especially your head, your spine, your feet, your womb area, they will always talk to you. They have a spiritual conversation with you all the time. So there are many ways of getting cleansed. You can drink certain things for cleansing. You can wash with certain herbs for cleansing. You can light certain things in the house or in the car to cleanse the atmosphere. So given how much cleansing was such a big requirement of our service, my friend and I we decided to make it convenient for most people. And that is why we then decided, Hore, instead of us coming to you and you are paying a lot of money to access us, we decided to do certain products that are herb infused. Like if we want to come and fortify your house, which is a very highly priced sort of service, right? So now we are doing it by remote. I normally call it we're doing it by remote. So we then made a candle, right, that you can light up in your house so that it absorbs the negative energy. So there's a company that we opened and it's called Dawa Living. Dawa is a Swahili word that means medicine. So you light this candle to absorb the negative energy in your house. Your kids are crying at night, you are not sleeping well, you are feeling that there's some sort of an energy, a dark cloud, you are feeling muriti, a presence that you do not know, a dawa candle helps you. Then the other bath salts, right, that you can sprinkle around your yard, bath with, and clean, your car, your house with. Bath salts. I'm not going to give you prices because it is not for the purpose of this channel, but I'm just letting you know that these products are available on Dawa Living. There's a Facebook page for it. The prices are there. In fact, why am I not giving them to you? I don't know. It's not one of those inbox for prices. Nah, it's not one of those things. It's just not coming out. Sometimes, ooh, sorry. That's how real this thing is. Sometimes we cleanse ourselves and we leave the kids. And you'd find that you get rid of a certain energy, but then your kids still have the same energy. So now we did a soap, like a unicorn kind of thing. Isn't it cute? Smells beautiful. So we did a soap for kids that you can bath your children with, and it has all the herbs that are used for protection, for calmness, and just for general cleansing of a child. So we tested it on our children. They are the most finickiest for allergies, so we are pretty much sure. And then for adults, there is a soap, soaps that you can use. This is the packaging of the soaps that you can use for cleansing. This you wash with. It has your normal leather foam, right? You can wash with anytime. The trick is to talk. I normally say the trick is to talk. When you are talking, you are then laying the atmosphere. You are then inviting the energy that you want to happen. Because I get it, even when a person is bewitching you, they go like, yeah, Tavi must drop her phone when she speaks to people. I'm kidding. But there's a certain energy that they deposit. So Luena, as you are doing this thing, there's a certain energy that you need to summon so that it works for you. The page is called Dawa Living, or alternatively, you can let me know if you are interested in the products, right? I am on 082 9675 870, 082 9675 870, and that's how you get your cleansing. Obviously, there are certain things where the cleansing requires that you go out into the river, or we do certain things on a mountain, but these are the kind of things that you can do. They're very powerful because of the herbs that we infused in them. And yeah, so go forward. The tagline of this products is that we want you to prosper. It's prosper. That's the tagline. Dawa Living, prosper, because we want prosperity for you. And we don't want retainer clients. We want to help you when you move. So if you can have these things working in your home and them looking nice and cute and colorful, and people don't look at you and say like, yo, that was the other concept, to say, after you've come for a consultation and I give you a herb, where do you put it? My husband told oh, worse, my child can even consume it, so we decided to have them very nice. I love the colors. We are forever exploring with new colors. Okay, now I'm just being self-satisfying. I have to go. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, everybody, for coming back. Thank you for your reviews. I'm so grateful that I am of assistance to you. And yeah, thank you for your feedback. I love you, and may you go forward and prosper.